So how long has the Quad been creating this satirical copy of the Quad, also known
So
as the Triangle?
I don't know the specific date. I think this is maybe the 30th issue. I think it was started in the 80s by a couple Quad members who I actually got to meet, who's my neighbor, and he worked on the Quad and he started the Triangle, and they just wanted something fun and light to do. And ever since then, we've been publishing it almost every year, with the exception of last year because of COVID, around April Fool's Day.
It's really cool that your neighbor created it. Has he helped in any way with like current copies, previous ones that you know of? Or did he help out with this one a little bit with like advice or tips?
Not really. He's just become like a huge major fan. And since I've known him my entire life, it's been great to, connect with him further. Like, he's given me old Quad documents, like the budget from the 80s, which was so interesting to read. So he hasn't really helped as much as he could be helping, but who knows, maybe next semester.
That's really cool that you have someone so close to you to be like, hey, if you ever need anything, or if you ever like need someone to just kind of vent to or get advice to, that's cool that you have your neighbor right there.
Definitely.
How do you guys decide what to add into the Triangle? Because like I kind of got into before, I started flipping through it and there were some spoof articles that had me in tears. So I was just wondering, do you guys maybe try and like save up memes throughout the year that you find interesting, or is it like one or two big meetings every now and then? Like, what's the creative decision-making process like for the Triangle?
So the Triangle is considered just another special issue. The Quad publishes 2 other special issues, including the Triangle. So it's kind of the same process, where with the weeks leading to the Triangle being published, we'll start thinking of ideas. This year, because we're all online and the Quad's been fully virtual, we created a Google Doc, and then people started just typing different ideas. I know personally, I have always had like a bank of different Triangle ideas on my phone, and I know a lot of other people have too. Just, if there's something funny that happens over the summer, we'll know, oh, we'll save that for the Triangle, which has been great. And a lot of people, had stuff from last year that they wanted to use. One thing that I really wanted to do was include as many class of 2020 graduates that I could, because they weren't able to contribute last year as their last Triangle. So we got one person who had graduated got to write another article, which was awesome. So it's more, we get more involved the closer we get to it. So like the 2 meetings prior, we would do open pitch and talk about the Triangle, some ideas. A lot of the Triangle stuff, all the credit really goes to production for coming up with some memes and even creating some memes, which was awesome, and like creating some funny ads. So it's definitely a group effort, but production does the most in terms of what the Triangle is going to look like. Like production, formatted the title of the Triangle, added the mask in the front, and they have a lot of creative freedom with that, which is awesome. And it really turned out awesome.
So we kind of touched on the publishing of the Triangle, but I was also wondering, is there any different publication process for the Triangle than there is for the Quad? But also, what level of input does your faculty advisor have with the Triangle specifically?
So in terms of the difference between the Triangle and the Quadrangle, is a much more rigid structure. We have 3 sources, 500-word minimum. Everything needs to be credited to someone. We need a fact check, stuff like this. With the Triangle, it's all made up, essentially. We make up our writers' names, our courtesies to the photos, make up random sources. So it's basically like the creative writing piece of the Quad. And in terms of the faculty advisor, Nick Gilowitz is our faculty advisor, wonderful professor. And even with the Quad in general, he's very hands-off unless we need him. So with the Triangle, let's say if there was a pitch that I was worried could be too controversial, I would just check with him and just make sure that everything was okay. But this semester, all the pitches were pretty great, and, didn't seem too bad that I needed to double check with a faculty advisor. But yeah, Nick's pretty hands-off and just wants us to be, as hands-on as possible running the paper by ourselves.
Yeah, it's really great because I know for MCTV, Dr. Grabowski is our faculty advisor, and having someone who's very kind of loose on the reins is nice because you get more creative freedom as a student, which is so much fun.
Exactly.
Right. And then my last question, is there anything else about the triangle that you would like to mention or that students may not know?
I think the quad has some of the funniest people on campus, and the triangle really reflected that. And yeah, our staff worked so hard for this. And the thing with the triangle is that we're publishing a regular issue on top of the triangle too. So it's double the work for our editors, double the work for production. But you know, I'm just so happy that we were able to do it this year, because last year we weren't, because we never want to publish the triangle online just because we don't have a satirical section on our website. So we'd never want someone to think it was a real article. So being able to print it this year was just an amazing experience. And the response we've gotten has been better than I ever could have imagined. So I'm just really happy with that.